Okay. Actually, I thought I pressed that. Breathe to reset. Breathe to reset. One thing that I tell every patient, every client, everyone that I work with, family and friends, I tell them to breathe. I really do, y'all. Anybody who knows me knows that, to breathe. I know it may sound like it's so simple. It's like, oh, I got all of this going on in my life. Why are you telling me to breathe? Because of the fact when life be lifing, your body goes into fight, flight, freeze mode. It goes there. And as an entrepreneur, as a female entrepreneur, as a 40 plus female entrepreneur, and especially for those of you who have families, who have partners, who have spouses, and if you're a caregiver for a parent, even for your own spouse, for an adult child or a child, who have special needs, is even that much more important to breathe. And so I'm gonna make sure I look at my outline, because y'all, like, that's a self-care thing, because I can talk forever and I need to make sure I be on point. I mean, even though I be on point, but just make sure I cover everything. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, listen up. Breathe to reset. Now, one of the main reasons to do that is because it helps to nurture the nervous system, recondition the nervous system, and to retrain the nervous system, kind of like all at the same time. That's probably like one of the things that you can do where you can get all three. You can focus on, one of those aspects, but it really does. Let's just say if there's chaos, there's, all kind of stuff going on. And by you taking the time to breathe, you're resetting your nervous system. Because what ends up happening, you get into mental overload. You can be overstimulated. Y'all, this is just human thing. And let me back up for a minute. Let me back up. Some of you may think if you breathe in, or if you got to calm yourself down, that there's something wrong. No, your body is doing what it's doing. And what we haven't been taught is that we as humans really have to train our body, our mind to do certain things. Yes, you breathe on your own, but when it comes to other things, intentional breathing is necessary for your life, to sustain life in a much different way. Because you do not want your body to take care of you. We'll put it like this. You want your body to take care of you. So intentional breathing, ooh, that was a good download. Intentional breathing helps you to help your body take care of you, because otherwise your body will take control of you through high blood pressure, through high cholesterol, through heart disease, through strokes, through other diseases. So do you want your body to take care of you, or do you want your body to take control of you? And you can help alleviate some of those things, even reverse it with intentional breathing. And so Intentional breathing helps regulate the nervous system and it decreases the stress hormone, cortisol. We all hear about it. We all have it at some point. It produces it naturally. So to decrease it is to integrate, is to practice intentional breathing. Y'all, we're talking about life saving, quality of life. We all, and I'm not saying even if you do these things that it's going to 100% prevent. But what I will say, the more intentional that you are and the more that you practice it, it can decrease whatever that may be going on inside of us. Because the thing is, we don't even know. And so it also helps with mental clarity and reduces, mental fatigue and overload. Because there's always so much going on. And that's something, put it like this, you may not have control over what's going on outside, but you can control intentional breathing. It protects your body in so many different ways. I already said it, of how it intervenes, interferes, disrupts burnout, even though you may have a lot going on. But intentional breathing helps with that. It can help with anxiety, which decreases, the opportunity for panic attacks. Again, it can help with high blood pressure. It can help with decreasing heart disease. And I'm taking my time with this, y'all. I'm taking my time with this because I want you all to hear me. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, especially for those of you who are females, because something about being a female, I think it's just a natural thing to quote unquote take care of others. And like, I don't mind, helping out, being of service to others. But there have been times that I didn't always focus on myself per se. And then by me being in the mental health field, I didn't know it when I first got in. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Because you can like what you do, but it is the visceral effect of what the world, the impact that the world has on you. And so you have control over that by nurturing yourself. Now, let's talk about the cost of not integrating, practicing, having rituals of intentional breathing. Racing thoughts, overload, decision fatigue. Your mind wandering. Sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm what you would call a drifting person. Like, I would daydream in a second. I really will. With daydream and drift, and somebody be talking to me like, Sharon. I'm like, oh, I done went over there. So a couple of things help me, but breathing, intentional breathing is one of those things that's helped. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this gentle, but also I'm going to say it how it needs to be said. You say that you have a calling. You say that you are a vessel. How are you taking care of it? Because sometimes the belief of, if somebody need my help, I gotta help them. But at what expense are you helping them? Because of the fact, even though, let's say, everyone would talk about what a wonderful person that you are, But if you incur, health issues, health problems, because you are always rescuing and giving to others without giving to yourself, pouring from like you're emptying your cup, having that no more, because you are the greatest creation who's ever been born. And so take care of it, nurture yourself. It will be okay, because you need a cup of water too. Because sometimes you can pray to be healthy, but are you doing the things to sustain that healthiness, to maintain it? Because if you're always putting out fire and never going back, to replenish yourself, with the water, your well is going to run dry too. And so, before you are pouring into others, make sure you are pouring into yourself. Add in intentional breathing, because it can save your life. The other thing is, when it comes to intentional breathing, again, we already know that it regulates your nervous system. And it decreases the fight, flight, freeze and gets you into that rest and digest. And I can remember when I was first learning about special rest and digest, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? It took me a while to truly understand that piece of it. But I'm like, whether you understand it or not, just know that your body, your being, it needs to be in harmony. Yes, there are times for you to be in fight, flight, freeze or fawn, but not forever and not all the time. And so intentional breathing helps with that. And let me share this. I can remember when I was in middle school, I don't even know what was going on. And I will always say is that, I'll just say a little bit. I'm a little, it's nothing that I guess you could say, identify myself with, but I have a little bit of anxiousness. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. But I was in middle school. Again, I don't remember what was going on, but I can remember walking and something just told me to breathe. It just told me to breathe. But one thing that I do know, because people will probably say, but gosh, Sharon, you don't get, too excited about anything. That's because I can't think. I can't think and I can't breathe. To be honest, that is the truth of getting. Now, I may laugh hard, but getting like too excited about something, I'm happy about something, I'm enjoying something, but get so excited. It's like that rush. It's like, I can't think, my mind starts racing and I can't breathe. So, of course, training myself to breathe. But even in middle school, and that has always been a part of my practice, even before I even knew what it was. When I first became a therapist, first got into the mental health field and started counseling people, breathing has always been, I didn't even study it. It was very intuitive. I just knew it was important. Like now that I have more knowledge on it, it is like, oh yeah, this is important. So you as an entrepreneur, especially as a female entrepreneur, 40 plus, integrate intentional breathing into your practice, especially throughout the day. At least once during the day for 5 minutes, minimal. Because you want to offset all of the different stressors that's coming into. You want to build a force field of anything that can be coming towards you. You want to, create this bubble. It's okay to be in a bubble because you do not want to exert your energy. You do not want to be overwhelmed. You do not want to be overloaded. You want to be able to think. And like I say, when I was in middle school, something just told me to breathe. Like I say, I don't remember what was going on, but it's like breathe. And this is what I need for your female entrepreneurs to do. Stop doing so much. You're overloading yourself. And then when you get sick, who is there to take care of you? Yes, you may have somebody, but what if it could have been prevented by breathing, taking the time to truly breathe? And so, the other cost that it's going to have for you, mental, emotionally, physical, but also financially. I got to look at that clock, that timer, but also physically, financially, because of the fact if you are stressed, if you are in internal chaos, it can pretty much impact your decision making, how you're thinking. It really can. But the other financial cost is no, let me even say this before I say that. The other cost by not integrated, even though you can say, I've gone all my life without this, I don't need this. It could be so many different things, but just know it's to decrease stress. And look at it this way, it's not the stress that you see, it's the stress that you can't see. Just like we have natural antibiotics inside our body that be fighting off bacteria and viruses that we don't know about. This is what intentional breathing does. It fights off the stressors, the chaos, the invisible chaos that we don't even see. It helps with that. So are you building a force field for the things that you cannot see? Because you're talking about how hard that you're working and you're hustling and grinding, but are you taking the time to do intentional breathing so you can reset? Because with all that stress, it constricts you. And what happens if you stay in constriction for too long? What do you think that's going to happen? It's going to hurt you. And you don't want that to happen. But the other cause is heart attack, stroke, panic attacks, time off of work. Which time off from work is good, but you want it to be planned. You want it to be intentional. And then visits to urgent care, to the emergency room, home health care, and then the financial costs of time off, and especially as an entrepreneur, if that's your only thing, time away from your calling. Yes, you may need a break, but you want it to be intentional. You want it to be planned. There are sometimes some things may come our way. It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. You want it to be like that, not, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. You don't want that. You don't want that type of surprise, So which one is harder? Is for you to work on being proactive and being preventive when it comes to your well-being, or the aftermath of heart attack and stroke and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and all of those things that can add to. Which one is harder? And again, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you do all these things and none of these things will never happen to you. I'm not saying that. There's a lot that goes into being healthy. And that is the price that we pay for being on planet Earth, Mother Earth. That's the price that we pay. So what are you going to pay? And so there are a couple ways, couple things that you can do in order to be intentional about breathing. Now, one way you can do this is to make sure you grab the Take 5 to Thrive Today wellness boosters, and that would help you get a head start. And if you want that, comment Thrive so that you can go ahead and get that ebook. But you can start off, say, okay, whether it's your lunch break or one of those breaks, if you're working a 9 to 5, one of those breaks that you take throughout the day. And if you're an entrepreneur, schedule it in. Like I said, ideally do it three times throughout the day. I'm not talking about morning, I'm not talking about evening, because you already have that in your practice, right? Anyway, and transparent moment for me, I definitely have it in the morning and throughout the day. The evening be kind of sketchy, so I'm getting better at it. That's something that I'm working on, and it takes practice. And that's another reason to be inside or circles, to be inside a community, to help remind you of that too. And so one of the basic practice that you have when it comes to intentional breathing is to sit or stand. You can lie down and really just breathe. Put a timer on it. If you want to listen to music, you can. Center your heart with the rhythm of your breath, and you're just going to breathe. That is the simplest way to do it. Now, another practice is box breathing. With box breathing, majority of the people do it in, 4 increments. I do it in 5 because that's my number. That is my number. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you breathe in for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You pause for a count of 5. And you exhale for a count of 5. And you do that 5 times and another 5 times. I like to say do it for 25 times, but at least do it for 5 minutes. Do it for at least 5 minutes. And if you can't do it for 5 minutes, start off by 1. But it's so important for you can recalibrate your body, because put it like this, we don't even know what is attacking us. We don't even know. But intentionally breathing helps with that. And then the last intentional breathing that you can do is breath of fire. It's a fast-paced breathing. I would say, I always do 3 deep breaths, and then you start the breath of fire with 25 fast breathing. It's like, and then when you get to 25, then you exhale everything out, and then you do it again. Now, I do want to say, with the breath of fire, with the fast breathing, in that it can make you a little dizzy. So just be mindful of that. Catch yourself. Now, what I will say, it doesn't mean you can't do it, but also with certain medical conditions, look it up to see if there is something, that is counterproductive. So be mindful of that as well. But these things are really, really important. Again, they help with anxiety, help to prevent or even reverse certain medical conditions. But the main thing is, on a daily basis, is for you to take care of yourself. And you could do that by breathing. It helps. The other thing that I will say, even though you have your own practice, it's beneficial at least once in a while to be guided. Yes, there are apps, there are YouTubes, but to be in a live community, at least online, Eventually, there will be some face-to-face things, but for right now, it's online. And with that, I have created a community for female entrepreneurs, especially for those of you who are 40 plus. It is Fortitude Free Circle. With Fortitude Free Circle, it helps entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, so that you can build discipline in integrating breathing because it helps you to embrace the challenge of not doing it. And with that, it helps you to sustain resilience. And so by integrating some type of breath work, some type of breathing, that's going to help you to sustain resilience and stay out of the fight, flight, freeze, to stay out of the survivor mode, because we're not built for this. Even though it may take 5, 10, 15 years to build up for a heart attack, to build up for stroke, for high cholesterol, and for other things as well. But one thing I will say, when you are intentional about your well-being, especially for those of us who have a calling, we cannot do without. It's almost like just as much work we put into our business, into our calling, just as much work is required for you to take care of yourself. So for those of you who's like, I need some help, I don't remember, there are things that I need to do, I need that nudge, I need that accountability, come inside the circle. Because we all need that. You know what I'm saying? We all need that connection so you can be in a space where you can do things to create a pace for yourself in intentional breathing. And one last thing, one of the things that we do inside the circle is that we do have fortitude and free rituals, which we do every Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're invited when you come inside the circle. So for those of you who want to come inside the circle, comment circle, or if you want to learn more about the circle, comment circle. For those of you that are like, hey, I have a good practice, or I'm just not able to do that yet, just comment Thrive so that you can get the ebook for Take 5 to Thrive today, because it's imperative that you do this every day to have that practice of sitting still, of just breathing. You're not weak. It's not about willpower. It's not about you're not strong enough or anything like that. It's just really so that you can have the capacity, you can have the energy. You won't have all of this overload, but it takes intentional breathing in order to do that. So y'all stop playing with your stuff. Stop playing with your calling. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Yes, I'm talking to you. Stop it. Did you pause? I know you have a lot going on, but you have a whole lot going on when you're not well. So intentional breathing helps. Give yourself life, more quality of life with intentional breathing. And this is what we do within the school. Well, I'm saying within the school, within the academy, but inside the circle. And so I want you to be healthy and well with intentional breathing. Because it also, I'm going to leave with this. Even when it comes to limited beliefs, sometimes just with intentional breathing can help eradicate some of that. Because your thoughts become clear. It won't be so cluttered. Because you can intervene, you can interrupt negative thinking. I'm going to leave it with that. But anyway, I appreciate everyone who has shown up on the live and who has given me hearts out there on TikTok world. And for everybody else, let me know what resonated with you. And then how are you going to integrate intentional breathing? I'll see y'all next time.